Hi, Reddy. I wanted to talk a little bit about the writing process, mostly that you should have one and that you should think about what your writing process is. So, what we have here is an outline of the writing process and all the steps that you should go through when you're writing an essay, and it looks like a lot. It probably really isn't as much as it looks like because this is stuff that hopefully you're already doing. You maybe just don't think about it as being part of the writing process. So things like reading, rereading, annotating, and discussing, those are things that you do in class on the discussion boards. If we were face to face, have I mentioned how much I wish we were face to face? You guys are so smart and you have such good ideas, and I hate that we're online. I think I've said that once or twice. So anyway, so reading, rereading, you often have to read things more than once, annotating, discussing, that's all part of building ideas, and that's part of the writing process. Then you start to write those ideas down. That's brainstorming, planning, and outlining. You might do a graphic organizer. We talked this week about mind maps. You might do a mind map. You might do voice to text and just talk out loud about your ideas and have voice to text write it down for you. You might have a conversation with a friend, with a family member as you toss these ideas around. Brainstorming, planning, and outlining, that can look like a lot of different things. Some people can really make a very clear outline, the classic outline with Roman numerals. You can always Google that, by the way, if you want more information on how to make an outline. If you go to the University of North Carolina Writing Center page, they have especially good stuff on that. I can't make an outline. I'm just like, my brain is just not that well organized. It's not, it doesn't work for me. So if an outline works for you, great, you should do it. But you might notice I don't require you to do one. Other teachers will. Other teachers will say you have to do an outline, but it's something you should work on. It's something you should try. Sometimes an outline can be just a list of ideas. So that's something that, try different stuff and see what works for you. Then you're drafting. Drafting just means you're writing down your ideas. You're not worried a whole lot about saying things perfectly. And this is where many students get stuck. So you think, how do I start my essay? It doesn't matter how you start your essay because you can go back and change it. You get stuck trying to say things in exactly the right way. I do it all the time. And you have to take a step back and give yourself permission to let it come out however it's going to come out. It's like this very emotional moment of accepting yourself and who you are. I'm being a little corny, but it's actually true. You have to say, you know what, I'm just going to say this, and maybe it's not going to come out right. But if you were talking with somebody, things wouldn't come out right the first time you say them. Oftentimes, even in conversation, we say things more than once. So drafting is letting yourself try out different ways of saying things, of getting your ideas out. Then revising is what's really important. So as you're revising, which you're doing this week, you might want to be asking yourself some questions. Now you've got all the ideas out. You have some things you need to be able to ask yourself so that you don't just sit down and look at your essay and be like, what do I do now? Right? That was actually my dog's voice. My dog has an imaginary voice we give her. Did I say that out loud? So you're thinking about questions you need to ask yourself. You're asking yourself what question am I answering? And is it the assignment question? You want to make sure that you're answering the assignment question. Then you want to ask yourself what is my answer? That's your thesis. So you want to make sure that you have one, right? And where is it? Okay. And don't just assume that whatever landed in the last sentence of your introduction is your thesis. Your thesis might not pop up until your conclusion. Your conclusion is a really good place to look for your thesis because a lot of times you write your whole essay and then by the time you're done, you're like, oh, that's what I wanted to say because you're smart and you were thinking while you were writing. So you want to say, what's my thesis? And then how am I supporting my thesis? Supporting my thesis, right? So there you're looking at your paragraphs, right? Paragraphs, right? You're going to look at each paragraph and does each paragraph have a point? And what is it? And does it have support for that point? Oop, right? Does it have the right support? Right? Does it have the right kind of support? Enough support? Okay. Oh, stop it. Why are you doing that word? Okay. Does it have the right support? Enough? How is my thinking? Do I make sense? So you're asking yourself these kind of questions. And one way that you can work with your draft to make sure that you're answering those questions is by annotating it or by doing a reverse outline. So that's going to be the next video. I'm going to make you another video now about how to annotate your draft to help you think through it. And already in the week 8 folder is a video about doing reverse outlines, which I call after lines because I like how it sounds. Okay, that's it for this.